Urban Sport on 94.5 Urban Radio. Here are the headlines for some of the major stories. Super Eagles to play Poland at the iconic stadium on the 3rd of June. Liam Rossinier drops Enzo Fernandez for 2 matches. Great Britain Sunday Qatar out of the Billie Jean Cup due to injury. More this in the news. I am Banky. The Super Eagles of Nigeria will have another historic outing when they play away to Poland in an international friendly on the 3rd of June as the encounter is due to take place in the East European nation's most iconic stadium, which can take 58,580 spectators. It was gathered that match in Warsaw is part of an upcoming busy schedule that will see the Super Eagles battle India and Jamaica at the 2026 Unity Cup in London next month, after which they will play Poland and Portugal in June. While the Super Eagles clash with Portugal on the 10th of June is obvious the most glamorous of the upcoming friendly games, the battle with Poland 7 days earlier holds an exciting attraction in terms of history, emotions, and structures. Memories will surely come alive when the game eventually takes place. Yes, so the game is going to be at the iconic stadium. Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen has been named Footballer of the Year at the 72nd Annual Milliard Sport Award. The Milliard Sport Award is considered one of the most prestigious honors in Turkey. Osimhen played a key role in Galatasaray's domestic double. Last season, the Nigerian international registered 26 goals and 4 assists in 30 league appearances for the Yellow and Reds. The 27-year-old added 7 more in the UEFA Europa League and 5 in the Turkish Cup. This season, the striker has contributed 19 goals and 7 assists in 27 appearances across all competitions for Galatasaray. Manager General Gattuso and Italy have agreed to mutually terminate his contract after their failure to qualify for a third successive World Cup. Italy missed out on a spot at this summer's showpiece event when they were beaten 4-1 on penalties by Bosnia-Herzegovina in Tuesday's playoff. Gattuso, who won 3 caps for the Azzurri during his playing career, was appointed as Luciano Spalletti's successor in June and won 6 of his 8 games in charge. An emotional Gattuso apologized for the defeat during his post-match news conference and admitted it was hard to digest. He said, "With a heavy heart, having failed to achieve the goal we set ourselves, I consider my time as coach of the national team to be over." And to England, Enzo Fernandez will sit out Chelsea's next 2 games after he crossed a line with comments made about his future at the club, says manager Liam Rossinier. After Chelsea's exit from the Champions League last month, Fernandez told ESPN that he did not know whether he would remain at Stamford Bridge next season. The 25-year-old Argentine joined the Blues for what was a British record transfer of £107 million in January 2023 and has made 161 appearances. Rossinion said the midfielder has been dropped for Saturday's FA Cup quarter-final against Port Vale and the Premier League fixture against Manchester City on the 12th of April. In reaction to that, Enzo Fernandez's agent, Javier Pastore, has described the decision to leave the Chelsea midfielder out of the next two matches as completely unfair. Speaking, Pastore said Enzo didn't understand the situation. When the coach told him, he accepted it because he's a highly professional guy who always fully committed whenever, wherever he is and respect decisions. But we don't understand the punishment because it doesn't mention any club or say he wants to leave Chelsea. Far from it, he only mentions Madrid, the city, because he was asked which European city he'd like to leave one day. But at no point does he say he wants to leave Chelsea or London. Alexander Isak could feature in Liverpool's FA Cup quarter-final against Manchester City tomorrow after making his return to team training 101 days after surgery on a broken ankle. Liverpool's club record £125 million signing has been out since 20th of December, having fractured his leg and had ankle surgery. The 26-year-old Sweden striker who scored 30 goals in 16 appearances for the Reds before his injury against Tottenham returned to full training on Thursday. Head coach Anna Slot said Isak was in contention to play a few minutes, but that decision could be complicated by the possibility of extra time being required to decide Saturday's tie at the Etihad Stadium. Ahead of tomorrow's FA Cup game against Liverpool, Pep Guardiola has zero concerns about Phil Foden, despite the Manchester City player struggling to impress on England duty. Foden was unable to make an impression against Uruguay and Japan, with Tuchel admitting it's not certain to make England's World Cup squad. Foden has started only one of Manchester City's last 8 games, being an unused substitute in 3 of them. Asked if he is worried about Foden's deep in form, Guardiola said, "Zero worries. He's 25 years old, 6 Premier League titles. His contribution is incredible. What happened is a normal process in a long career, a normal situation. He will make a click and it will turn." Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta says the knee injury picked up on international duty by Noni Madueke is not as serious as first thought. The winger was forced off during the first half of England's 1-1 friendly draw with Uruguay at Wembley last Friday. Arteta has confirmed he could be back within days. He said, "No, it's not that serious. It looked really bad and Noni was really worried, especially after what happened in his other knee a few weeks ago, and he was out for 6 weeks. But no, it's nowhere near that injury, so that was really good news." However, fellow England international Gareth Eze remains sidelined with a calf injury picked up prior to the Carabao Cup final and will not feature in Saturday's FA Cup quarter-final at Southampton, while Piero Nkapie is also unavailable. In tennis, Winnie Carter's withdrawn from Great Britain's Billie Jean King Cup qualifier against Australia in Melbourne next week because of injury. The absence of the British number 2 means the team will be without their 4 highest ranked players after Emma Raducanu, Katie Booter, and Francesca Jones were not included in the initial squad as they focused on their clay court seasons. It leaves world number 180 21 had its dot as the team's highest ranked singles player for the tie, which takes place on the 10th to 11th of April. Qatar's 24 said he had not yet recovered from the lower back issue, which forced our retirement from the fourth round Indian Wells against number 3 Alina Rabakina last month. Right, that's all we have in the news tonight. This is Urban Sport Tonight 4.5, Urban Radio, and teams are back. European games are back. Club competition is back once again. We are done with the international window. We are done trying to qualify for the FIFA World Cup. Now we are ready for the run-ins, and it starts with the FA Cup in England tomorrow. But for the Spanish La Liga, Rafa Vallecano will take on Elche. The game is by 8 p.m. tonight. Toulouse will play their match against Paris Saint-Germain by 7:45 tonight. Those are the two games tonight, and we have the FA Cup matches for tomorrow. It's going to start our conversation for tonight. Enzo Fernandez has been dropped for that game between Chelsea and Port Vale at the break tomorrow by 5:15, and he will not be available for their crucial game against Manchester City because of the interview granted. Because he said he would love to be in the city of Real Madrid, yes. And there are speculations that there's a possibility they has discussed with Liam Rossino that he does not want to stay back at Chelsea. Maybe that's why, because his agent reacted to that news today, and after his agent reacted to that news, we also had Paul Mason attacking Liam Rossino's decision to drop their vice captain. They won't have what's his name now? Reece James is out injured, and now you might not have the complement of your vice captain in your next game. So he's suggesting just maybe both of them have had that conversation that he doesn't want to stay back, and because of that, he got him suspended. Because Kukurea will condemn the structure of Chelsea, the fact that Chelsea sacked their coach in between the season, the fact that the key players in the squad was not dropped at all. So let's get here from Liam Rossino on why he's dropping Enzo Fernandez. It said he has crossed the line, and we can also hear him talk about Marco Correa's comment too.
I spoke with Enzo an hour ago. As a football club, as with me as part of that process, we've made a decision. He won't be available for tomorrow's game, and he won't be available for Manchester City next Sunday. I think for Enzo, it's disappointing to speak in that way. What I will say about Enzo is, in terms of him as a character, as a person, I've got no bad words to say about him, but I think a line was crossed in terms of our culture and what we want to build. So we had to make a sanction, and that was a decision we've made.
All right, concerning Kukurea, this is his comment.
Again, fantastic conversation with Mark yesterday, half an hour in my office. The disappointing thing for me, what we're trying to create here in my time, I've only been here for come up to 3 months. I can't speak. I'm enjoying it, even the difficult moments. I want players, I've said to them from day one, if they've got any issue with how we do things, to come and speak to me and speak to the sporting director. My disappointment in Mark's interview is where it went to. I think he should have spoken to us first about the things that he's feeling. I want players to feel like they can speak openly and honestly for the benefit of the football club. And those conversations we've had with Reece James, that's why Reece has signed a new contract, because he believes in where we're going. And as a football club, we know we need to improve, myself included, and we actually know what we're going to do in the summer to achieve those objectives. Everybody knows Marc Cucurella, knows his character. He's a great character. He's passionate. He wants to. I think for him, he did an interview, a long interview, where he spoke with passion. He spoke his mind. Yesterday, while I was in the office with him for half an hour, was to remind him, you can come and speak to me. You can be honest with me, and you can be honest with the club about what you want. But that takes time. I've been here for 2.5 months. We played 20 games. So to build those relationships and those connections takes time. But Mark is fully committed. He wants to be here. He's made that very, very clear to me. And he actually believes in where we're moving forward.
All right, Chelsea have just one competition to fight in right now. It's against Port Vale in the Emirates FA Cup tomorrow. Chelsea fans, are you happy that Enzo Fernandez will not play against Manchester City? That's my question to you guys tonight. When I open the phone lines, I want to hear you guys come and talk. Discuss what you feel about that decision by Liam Rossignol. Is he supposed to suspend Enzo Fernandez for 2 games, including the crunch tie against Manchester City, considering Chelsea's current position standing in the Premier League or on the Premier League table? Yes, before that, Anna Slot has cleared Ishak fit for tomorrow's game. It could be part of the match against Manchester City. They traveling to the Etihad Stadium to play in the quarterfinals of the Emirates FA Cup against Manchester City. And he also discussed Mohamed Salah announcing he's going to leave Liverpool at the end of the season, hoping that he can still pick up 2 titles. Those 2 titles, the FA Cup and the Champions League. Yes, Alexander Isak returning for Liverpool's Champions League matches will be very good. It's going to be a massive addition to them considering the monster in PSG that they want to attack. But let's hear from him talk about Alexander Isak's fitness and also Mohamed Salah's possibility of picking 2 titles.
Rehab did a great job. If I look at him now compared to where he was before he got injured, I see a player that's much stronger, physically in a much better place. But going from 100 days off towards the intensity of the Premier League in the end phase of the season and the end phase of the Champions League, where usually the opposition you face is even harder, what's realistic to expect, that's difficult. But I'm really, really, really happy that I have at least a number 9 again available behind Hugo or together with Hugo. So that's already a positive thing, and what to expect. I think I've said many times that next season, when he's at a proper preseason, we can expect more from him maybe than now. But even the way he is now is already a big step forward for us compared to what we had when he was in.
All right, this is Anna Slot talking about the legendary Mohamed Salah.
I can only hope that he can add 2 extra trophies to it. What has happened after he announced it is what he completely deserves. His teammates, anyone, everywhere around the world that was asked about his legacy, said the words that need to be said. It's unbelievable what he did for this club for so many years, every 3 days, scoring the goals he did, having the assist, and the impact he had on this club, winning the trophies. So beautiful photo of him in front of all the trophies he's won individually and as a team. And I can only hope that he can add 2 extra trophies to it towards the end of the season.
All right, then there is Manchester City. There is Roger who said, if Real Madrid comes calling, can you say no to Real Madrid if they come calling? And if he doesn't get maybe an improved contract extension at Manchester City, if they allow him to leave Real Madrid comes calling, it's going to go there. Yes, Pep also talked about that. There's been a lot of talks concerning Pep leaving Manchester City. Maybe at the end of the season, maybe next season, and more. We have 3 potential coaches in the works as potential replacement, as replacement for Pep Guardiola. You're talking about Enzo Fernandez leading, Enzo Maresca leading that uh, table, considering coaches that can take over from Manchester City. Yes, it's being considered as favorite. Yes, as favorite to take on down Sport. There's Sex Fabregas, there's Mikel Arteta also in the mix. But let's get a hear from Pep talk about Rodri and out of form Foden, who might not go to the FIFA World Cup for England.
No clue, no opinion because I don't know the intentions of. I know the intention of the club. I know the intention. I think of him, but I don't know. Nothing, zero. He's 25, 26 years old, 6 Premier Leagues. I won a lot of things, and the contribution in New York done is incredible. And what happened is normal process in a long career. It's a normal situation. In the moment he will make a click and turn, we'll be back with his.
Alright, 091600595 091600495. Chelsea fans, Andrew Fernandez drop for the game against Port Vale, drop for the game against Manchester City in the Premier League. What's you guys' reaction to that? You can call in now 091600595 091604945. Those are the numbers to call monster matches, clashes, bouts in the Premier League in England and in Spain tomorrow. First of all, in England, you have the game between Manchester City and Liverpool, the Emirates FA Cup quarterfinals. Then Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona at the Metropolitano Stadium in the La Liga. Good evening to you. Hello.
Good evening, Banky.
Yes, your name and location.
That's the calling from Nightline.
All right, Banky, go ahead.
Well, this Chelsea owner, their coach, they know what they are doing. The coach that do not even have tactics to play. They do not suspend another tackle. It is what Enzo says that made him to suspend Enzo. You see this kind of playing type that they are playing now, that Chelsea is playing now, that they will use and carry, maybe they carry cup or Champions League or FA Cup or to qualify for Champions League. In short, everything like, I want when Chelsea lose the whole of their match so that the owner and the will see themselves where they will stay, because I believe by next season a lot of players will leave Chelsea and they will lose more than every other thing.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your reaction. Yes, with this, I'm expecting Enzo Fernandez to leave, but it's going to be difficult. He's tied to a long-term contract at Chelsea, and they don't see him as the player they want to sell. How will they go through this? Kukurea can also leave. Good evening to you.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Hello, Banky. Good evening. This is Obadiah.
Obadiah, how are you, man?
Yeah, I'm great.
Go ahead, please.
What? I don't Fernandez. What is that is not the thing. It must happen if one was talking on the both side of the mouth. You know, I mean, whatever it is, I don't know. But I like to take the punishment. There's nothing you can do about it.
So you accept the punishment too? What did he say? What did he say?
Okay, well, I don't think he spoke because he felt like concerned, or he's very concerned about it.
You know what I would like you to do, yeah? Listen to what he said before our show tomorrow by 4 to 6 p.m. Then we can discuss more of that.
Yes, I know he was trying to show some concern about the situation at the Stamford Bridge. Really, he's a fine player, but he's really troubled about what is going on there. But the coach sees it as something to be expected. So he's coming. Might put his jump on the thing, so that is the problem. So, but there's nothing I can do about it. If you are in there,
Thank you.
it's a deal.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, my guy. 0916005945, 0916004945. Chelsea fans, Enzo Fernandez will not be available for the match against Manchester City. If I start laughing on the show, don't blame me. It's time for you guys to talk, so you guys should talk. Tomorrow, Wicked Tourist to be played at home against Aimbus by 4 p.m. That's in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Games start by 2:30 tomorrow. In the German Bundesliga, Bayer Leverkusen and Wolfsburg. In action, Bayern Munich will take on Freiburg by 2:30 tomorrow. Part of the games, Borussia Mönchengladbach against FC Heidenheim, Hoffenheim against Mainz 05. Then we have Wolfsburg. We have Werder Bremen against RB Leipzig. Good evening to you. Hello. Yes. Moses, how are you? Moses, I can't hear you. Your voice is echoing. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? No. Yes. Yes. It should be dropped. Okay.
Not
0916005945. So the game tomorrow between Manchester City and Liverpool is by 12:45. That's when the clash is going to happen. The game in Italy will start by 2 p.m. Sassuolo against Cagliari. In Spain, their first game is by 1 p.m. Real Sociedad Levante. Then Mallorca at home to Real Madrid by 3:15. 0916005945. I'm still taking calls. Yep. Good evening. Good Friday to you. Good evening to you. Hello? Yes, how come I can't hear you clearly? What's going on? Hello? Your voice is far away from your phone. I can hear you. I am fine. Your voice is distant. Distant, yeah? Okay, guys, 4 to 6 p.m. We can take this conversation to the boxing team appropriately. It's a football show tomorrow by 4 to 6 p.m. on 94.5 Urban Radio, and we can dissect everything and to talk about what is happening concerning Chelsea. Is the coach right enough, mature enough to make that decision? Is it not going to affect their season? How will this have it did? If they lose to Manchester City without Enzo Fernandez, who is one of their best players this season, will he not backfire? We'll find out. From that conversation tomorrow by 4 to 6 p.m. on 94.5 Urban Radio. Urban Sport returns weekdays 8 a.m. and 7:30 p.m. I am Banky All.